This week's adventure took me to the botanical gardens, but not alone. I went with a local photography club, and there was every walk of life, from new to professional. I learned so much and shared a little bit of knowledge of my own. Discovered that shutter speed is important, even on still objects, because of the lighting in and out, coming from daylight to shadows. And I learned a little bit more about Lightroom, turning day into night. Hey, I'm excited about photography, and I hope you are too. So let's learn together. Shutter speed is important because when you go from dark to light and you haven't adjusted it, you get some overexposure. You try to adjust it again in the wrong direction, and then finally you get it just right. Now for taking a daytime image like this and turning it into night. The first thing I notice in this picture is this fire hydrant and this air conditioning unit both need to be taken out of the picture. Otherwise, I think we're okay to begin. Now, in order to get started, a couple of steps I always like to do is that lens correction. And then from basic, just hit the auto. Get a little bit of extra color in there. That looks good. And now, let's go to right click. Oh, let's see, edit and Photoshop. And we'll let that open up in Photoshop. The first thing we're going to do after it opens up in Photoshop is get rid of the fire extinguisher. Let's zoom in here. Control Alt plus on the PC. And do a quick little roundabout. I might even yeah, let's add to or subtract from it. Holy cow, a little jumpy there, aren't I? Oh, cool. I kind of recognized what I wanted to do. All right, delete. Content aware. Boom. You can kind of see a little bit, but you do this. That's kind of hard to tell if there was anything there. Now let's see if we down here. This one I think is going to be a little trickier. Since it is mostly square, I'll go with the poly lasso. We'll draw it up to here. You know what? I don't like that. Get rid of it. Check it. I get a little bit more outside. I'm gonna go right around the whole thing and see what let's see what Photoshop does with this. It's not too bad. Not terrible, really. I mean, there's a bush growing out of the top of this, but I think what we could do is adjust this a little bit. Whoa, that's a big. Yeah, maybe a little smaller. Alright, that's just to kind of blend that in a little bit better. Part of me wants to take this tree and move it into this empty space. Or make it look like there's a branch behind it leading into it. Right up against the house. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. Control S, and that should save it in Lightroom. Yep, and there it is in Lightroom. If we hit the auto again, it should adjust it one more time. Let's take this gradient here. Let's bring it in about like that. Bring the darkness down. Maybe some contrast. Really don't know if we need the highlights in there. Make it blue? No. Green. Alright, that's not too bad. And now we'll take a brush. Let's see. Get this all. Kind of basically brushing around the outside here, and we're going to make that a lot darker. Make that dark. This back here is even pretty dark. Even this tree, backside of this tree is going to be dark. So where's our shadows? There's our shadows. Darker. Our white's a little darker, so we bring that down. Black's a little black. Whoa, not that black. That's pretty good, I think. We can even do a preset here for vignetting. Darken that up. And then, now, we'll take the circle. Invert. Bring a lot of the yellow in. That's really all I'm doing, is taking the circle because at this point we got little lights here, but really expand upon that should take put a little light down below this one, invert it, get it a little brighter, and here can do about the same thing underneath the light here. Center this a little bit forward, about there. I think it's good. Invert it. Not quite full blasting yellow. We're pretty close. Okay, done. Now that looks pretty good. However, the reflection here in the window, you can see the blue. So let's there it is. Blues. So that dulled those down to darkness. That's what we're looking for. And I think that is pretty good, but see a little bit of the sky up here to the left, upper left hand corner. I want to crop that out. So let's crop this. Even bring it in a little bit, make that pole the center point right there. Done. Daytime to nighttime. And that's kind of a brief look at how I would convert something from daytime to nighttime. If we look at the before and after, kind of shows you with the fire extinguisher out, but and coming back from Photoshop and cropped, but that's the before and after. All right, cool. That'll do it for this week's episode. I hope you liked it, and if you did, hit that like button. If you didn't, that's fine. You can hit the thumbs down button as well. I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe and notification so you can see next week's video when I post it. And until then, see you next week.